yourself back in all them bags like that. I guess nobody ever told you all you must hold on to is you, is you, is you. All you gotta hold on to. Welcome back, TTP. That's just one of my little art pieces. Let's bring that back. Welcome back, TTP. It's your girl Faith, aka Soul Child Styles LLC, aka Blessed Hands, aka Come Book with Your Girl. Look at my hair. Like, I feel like a fairy princess. I'm about to get ready. Oh, I'm already ready, but I just want to chat to y'all real quick before I go to church. And today's episode is called Bag Lady. You know what I'm saying? I feel like baggage. Baggage. Let's talk about baggage. And I'm not talking about a cute little purse, a cute little MK wallet. Look at her, she's so cute. My mom has a matching one. But I'm not talking about that type of baggage. I'm not talking about in the physical sense, but emotional baggage, spiritual baggage. Oh my gosh, baggage from your past. Child, I feel that a lot of times the thing that makes discernment so hard or seem like such a difficult thing to attain is the fact that we're so wrapped up in our past that we forget that we're in the present and the things happening now are trying to get our attention. I like that. I feel that as a society, we're always so fast paced in how we approach things. We've gotten so conditioned by electronics, which are so helpful, don't get me wrong, but in the same sense, kind of, if not treated with care and mindfulness in terms of having balance with the technical world and our realities. You know, sometimes we get so caught up in the lives of others via social media, going on TikTok and seeing people blowing up so easily and their whole lives changing, which is amazing and something that should be a good example to aspire to because that could happen to you too. But in the same breath, sometimes we can get so caught up in making it happen that we don't pay attention to the journey on the way to it happening. And the whole point of the journey is so when you ascertain the things that you actually want in life, you're able to maintain them with a certain level of substance and not get so caught up in the glitz and the glam, and the golds and the jewelry. You feel what I'm saying? And the cars. All that stuff is nice. I'm not saying you can't like nice things. Look at me. I'm a nice thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a nice thing. You feel me? I'm a nice thing. So it's like I can't be mad at you. God loves beautiful things too. That's why he gave it to us. But it's hard for us to appreciate the beauty in the life that we have when we're so focused on the life that we want. When you get to that point, you stop using it as inspiration and end up holding yourself captive to a reality that you then start to believe can only be attained in your mind. And that brings a certain level of self doubt and the unique abilities that God instilled in you. It's like God wouldn't have allowed it to set in your heart to want these things for yourself and the people you care for if you weren't able to get them or you weren't supposed to get them in this lifetime. But when we start to rush the process, we don't gain the skills that we need to maintain what we want. When you ask God for, when you really ask God for what you want, He doesn't just give it to you right there and then because He loves you and He wants you to be able to keep it. Because how heartbreaking would it be? Like, think of a parent, and you know your kid, Christmas season, you feel me? Carol. But Christmas season, okay? Think of it like this. Your kid, they want a certain type of gift, okay? And then, you make plans and you give out little hints that Santa's gonna give it for them, or whatever the case may be. And then you give the kid the toy, and then the kid is just playing with it on Christmas Day, so happy opening the presents. And then the next day, you set on fire in front of them. I'm sorry, I'm a little cynical. But seriously, that's how it feels sometimes when we ask God for something and ask God for something, and then we finally get it, and then we do something that might seem like a little slip up to us, or we might do that little slip up time and time again and think, well, if it's for me, then it can't, it'll never pass me. Well, if you do not maintain the blessings that you ask God for, it's almost not only disrespectful to God, but disrespectful to the other people tied to that destiny. Because everything that you want in your life is for a reason, and it's attached to the destiny that you have for your life. The God for essentially God's will for your life, and He has people attached to that as well. So if you're not keeping up with what you're supposed to be doing on your end, you're slowing down things for someone else that has also been praying and waiting and begging for God to do what they need Him to do in their life. But they're actually keeping their end of their word. Like, it's a relationship at the end of the day. It's give and take. If you want something, that's fine, but prepare yourself for that something. Whatever it may look like in your life, whether it be a degree, whether it be a business, whether it be a job, whatever the case may be, whether it be a trip, whether it be a sandwich. Be intentional about any and everything that you do. Because when you're intentional, you keep track of what you put out into the world. And as people say, everything that you put out in the world is gonna come right back to you. What do you want coming back to you? You feel me? Like, what do you want coming back to you? What do you want your life to represent in this life? You know, if you say you want to look like God is walking with you, okay, fine. That's me. I'm speaking to myself too, so don't be mad. You know, that's bad habits you have. Are you willing to let go? If limiting, I'm not saying stop drinking, but if you know that you drinking leads to you feeling like getting in a bad mental state, then essentially your bad mental state then transitions to you not taking care of yourself, and then you not taking care of yourself leads to you not being at like the peak that you would like to be at. You feel what I'm saying? Like, not like you have to be every single day, it's just being where you want to be in life. And then when you feel like you're not doing that, then it starts to essentially start to affect your motivation and your passion for the things that you love and that God has put you in charge to do in this life. So it all trickles down. It's not just like, oh, God doesn't want you to just be going out every weekend, da da da. It's just about taking care of yourself. He doesn't want things that are going to be bad for you because you're asking Him for something. So He's telling you, okay, so if you want to make this easier for you so you are able to maintain the passion that you need for the blessings that He already has bestowed upon you, then just do what you're supposed to do because it's just supposed to help you. Like, I feel that we don't always keep in mind that the reverence that we're supposed to have for God is in the sense of reverence have for a parent. Honor your mother and your father. God says that for a reason in the Bible, because honoring them is like honoring God. And obviously, not every relationship has its issues. And I'm not saying put yourself in a place to be disrespected, because I for damn sure, sorry God, sorry, I for sure will not be doing that. If you know me in real life, I have very strong boundaries. And I could love you. I could love you down. I'm a loving person. Anyone that knows me knows, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm stern, but I'm stern so that I can give you the best version of myself. I wouldn't want you giving me things that I've already told you I do not accept in my life. And then it makes me feel some type of way, or it has a trigger in my life. Why would I be accepting that when I already know what I do and do not like in my life and what helps me? Don't get me wrong, not like people can't make mistakes, but it's all about respect, you know? It's all about respect. It's just a mutual respect for, this is what you say you want done in your life. If this is what I can provide, this is what I can provide. If this isn't what I can provide, I can leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? And that goes in all aspects. If I can't, like, if I know I'm an emotionally sensitive person, I want people around me that, yes, can also be sensitive to my emotions, but also knows how to speak in a kind and mindful way when I'm in the wrong, so that I'm still learning and growing with, like, that person in my life, whether it be friends, romantic partners, family. Like, me and my family, we had to learn how to communicate with each other, because we're all very sensitive people in our own ways. So it's like learning how to communicate helped us. And I'm not saying you always have to rehash everything, because sometimes it just won't happen. Sometimes you have to accept things as they've happened and accept the lessons that have happened with them. But if you're really trying to move forward with your life, it's very good to be mindful of who you have around you and how you allow the people that you have around you to treat you. Very, very, very important. And it's also very important to be able to accept the people around you for who they choose to be. Do not try and change people. It doesn't work. You're not God, okay? Like, you never know what type of baggage people come with, and sometimes that's their own cross to bear, just like you have your own cross to bear. So it's not like you have to go around trying to change people. It's just learning what you can and can accept with the people that you have in your life. And once you get to that point where you know what you can and cannot accept, it's like, okay, you make clear boundaries, you communicate so that they know too. Because you can't be mad at people for acting how they act when you don't even know the intention from where their behaving is coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's it's a thin line between being judgmental and being mindful or protective of yourself, you know? Like, you can't walk around in fear all the time because people don't act the way you want them to act. And that's me talking to me, because I can have a tendency to have, um, slight control issues just because I like a certain type of environment around me. But also it's because of the situations that I've had in the past. So it's like, I know when it comes to friendships, I like to move a certain type of way. When it comes to relationships, I like to move a certain type of way, familial and romantic, you know? And people that are in my life know that of me, and they know my boundaries, and they know what lines not to cross. And we all live happy to be happy. Doesn't mean things don't happen. That's how you learn about people. But I feel like communication helps baggage turn into growth. You know? It's okay to have baggage, because everyone will. It's I'm not gonna say it's impossible to, over the course of your lifetime, to truthfully unpack everything that you've been through and everything that you've dealt with in a way that can provide healing for you. That's very much possible. but not every day is promised, you know? So even in your present life, how you get to that point is talking to yourself first, because not everything is meant to be shared with everyone, and that's just real. You know, some things are meant to be in your prayer closet with God. And who best to have in your prayer closet than God? He already knows everything that you've dealt with, and he's gonna have the other perspectives as well. So he'll be more than open to listen to how you experienced it and also teach you how to be open minded about how other people could experience the same thing that you lived through in a different way as well. That helps me not harbor anger and frustration and that baggage, because that's what that emotional baggage really is, like undealt with emotions, unpackaged emotions, like opening a can of worms, if you would. Just walking around with the open can of worms. You feel like, can you understand that? That's a very uncomfortable thing to live with. To just always feel like you're not living fully in your truth. And living in your truth doesn't mean everybody has to know what you've been through, but living in your truth just means you understand what you've been through and you've accepted what you need to accept, and also forgiving yourself where you feel like you could have made better decisions. Because I think a lot of time, the most baggage that a lot of people carry is shame. Shame is so prevalent in so many communities, especially the Black community. And we carry this deep, deep shame about not only being ourselves, but the things that have happened in our lives to accumulate to who we believe we are at certain points. But when God shows you who you really are, then it's so much clearer, the things that influence a lot of decisions that you probably would have made in the past that you probably wouldn't make today. And that's helped me a lot in forgiving myself for knowing better but not doing better, because as well intentioned as I try to be, your intention doesn't always match your impact. And being able to accept that allows me to be like, okay, I didn't really do this great this time. And that's okay. I am not meant to be perfect. If I was perfect, then there'd be no point of God, you know? Like, that's my forever teacher. My forever teacher. God is always teaching me through so many different circumstances in my life. And I've learned to just release attachment to my experiences and choose to instead just learn through them. So instead of me taking it as something personal, don't get me wrong, we put ourselves in situations sometimes, but God always uses it for our good. So instead of just holding yourself to guilt and shame, like, why did I do this? How did I get myself here? It makes more sense to be like, okay, well, I'm here. I messed up, but I'm here. So what can I make good out of this situation? How can I make a positive impact not only for myself but someone else? Because that lesson you're learning, you never know who might need it right after you. You never know how God is preparing you for a lesson. So you might in turn someone away from learning something even worse in a more negatively impactful way. You know? So being open minded allows you to not only just think about the different opportunities for yourself, but different opportunities for those around you as well. And that's why it's so important to know who you have around you and know what triggers them, so you know when, because you never know what situation you'll be thrown into with whoever you choose to have around you. So if you in a life and death situation, you better make sure you have some decent people around you. You feel what I'm saying? Or sometimes it's better to just go at certain things alone, like I said, with God in your prayer closet. But keeping that baggage without unpacking it just keeps up space that God could be using for your blessings. So as you go throughout this week, be mindful of your baggage, open it up, take a little glance, take out a shirt or a pant or a bra or underwear at a time, but deal with it at your own pace, but deal with it. Because a lot of times I've even seen certain scientific studies that say a lot of autoimmune diseases in women, in black women specifically, especially when it comes to like high blood pressure and stuff like that, are usually due to years and years of unpacked trauma, unpacked emotions that have stored and manifested as disease in the body. And it's crazy to think that our spiritual sickness can turn into physical sickness, but it can. And that's not to scare you, but it's just the reality of life. You have to deal with what you go through because God's allowed you to go through it for a reason. He doesn't hate you. He wants you to learn so that you can help yourself and be a testimony for someone else. Because you never know what people are going through, bro. But as I said, as you go throughout this week, be mindful, be loving of yourself and others, and unpack that trauma. Therapy! You dig? But I love y'all and hope y'all have a blessed week.